Every so often, a new technology comes along that just makes you stop. You can feel the ground shifting under your feet, and you just know the world is about to change in a really fundamental way. Well, we are standing right at the edge of one of those moments right now. I want you to think back to, say, 1984. The world was just on the cusp of the whole digital age. Hearing someone talk about a digital typewriter that can send messages must have sounded like straight up science fiction, right? But for anyone really paying attention, it was a huge signal of the connected world we live in today. We're in a really similar spot, but this time, the technology isn't just on our screens, it's about to walk among us.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Are we right on the verge of the next great transformation? Because the arrival of general-purpose humanoid robots, that's not a distant dream anymore. It's an imminent reality, and it's on track to totally reshape our industries, our society, and yeah, our daily lives over the next 10 years. So how in the world do we get our heads around this coming wave? Well, we're going to break it down. We'll look at what these new robots actually are, then we'll dive into their impact on work and society, unpack the huge economic and ethical questions, and then we'll wrap it all up with a little trip into a possible future. Okay, first up, the dawn of the humanoid age. And this is all about moving past our old ideas of what automation is and really getting to grips with a new concept, embodied AI. So, forget the clunky, single-task robots you might be picturing from old movies. Today's humanoid is something else entirely. The best way to think about it is an embodied AI. That means we're taking a powerful, learning artificial intelligence and fusing it with a physical body that's designed to move through and interact with a world built for us, for humans. That combination, the brain and the body working together, that's the crucial point that changes absolutely everything. But an embodied AI is only as good as its physical parts, right? And what's happening right now is this incredible convergence of different technologies, creating a massive leap in what these robots can actually do. It's giving rise to what you could call a new silicon workforce. There are really four core things that are unlocking this future. First off, you've got advanced mobility and dexterity. We're talking about robots that can walk over rubble, sure, but can also handle something as delicate as an egg. Then there's AI-powered perception. This lets them look at a messy room and not just see objects, but understand how to start cleaning them up. This leads right into autonomous task execution. So instead of programming every single little movement, you can just tell it, hey, put the shelf together, and it figures out the steps from the instructions. And finally, and this is huge, they're designed for safe human-robot collaboration. They can work right next to us, shoulder to shoulder, no safety cage needed. And this is not just theory. We are already seeing this stuff in the real world. I mean, cutting-edge robots like Tesla's Optimus and Figure 01 are being tested in factories as we speak. And they're not just doing one repetitive thing over and over. They're being trained to handle complex, dynamic jobs that require actual problem-solving, adapting on the fly right next to their human colleagues. Now, a technology this powerful isn't going to stay locked up in factories. So, next up, let's explore how society itself is about to get, well, remastered, as these humanoids start to enter our daily lives in some really profound ways. The push for this technology, it's not just about cool innovation for its own sake. A lot of it comes down to sheer necessity. We have these massive global forces creating a huge demand. We have aging populations all over the world that create a desperate need for help in elder care. We've got widespread labor shortages, leaving huge gaps in critical areas like logistics. And just generally, there's a growing demand for services that make our lives better. Humanoids are being developed as a direct answer to these enormous societal challenges. Let's just focus on one of the most powerful applications here, caregiving. Just imagine a robot that can help with daily tasks, give medication reminders, monitor vital signs, and even offer companionship. This could allow elderly people to keep their independence and dignity, living in their own homes for much, much longer. This isn't just about convenience, it's about fundamentally improving the quality of life for millions of people. Of course, a change this huge is going to bring a massive economic transformation with it. We're talking about a potential productivity boom unlike anything we've ever seen, but also a complete revolution in the labor market. And yeah, this is where things start to get really complicated. The key economic idea to understand here is the tipping point. The cost to operate a humanoid robot, when you factor in everything from electricity to maintenance and the upfront price, is dropping fast. The very moment that robot cost dips below the cost of human labor for a specific job, well, the economic incentive to automate becomes almost impossible to ignore. Think about a job like stocking shelves in a warehouse. That moment could be just a couple of years away.
When a robot can do the job for, say, a projected $4 an hour, the economic pressure to make that switch is just immense. And that economic reality, it's definitely not lost on the public. The anxiety is very real, and you can measure it. Over 70% of workers in the US are worried about a future where robots can do their jobs, and a majority of workers over in the EU feel the exact same way. This isn't some abstract, far-off fear. It's a deep, personal concern about your livelihood and your purpose in a world that's becoming more and more automated. Which brings us to probably the thorniest part of this whole conversation, the global robo-dilemma. We absolutely have to confront the huge ethical and regulatory questions that this technology is forcing on us. I mean, what is our plan, really? What happens to the social fabric of a country when entire categories of work just disappear? This is a question that goes so far beyond economics. It touches on identity, community, and social stability itself. And what about accountability? Let's say one of these autonomous, learning robots makes a mistake and someone gets hurt. Who's on the hook? Is it the owner, the company that made it, the programmer who wrote the original learning algorithm? The truth is, our current laws around product safety were just not built for machines that can make their own decisions. And maybe the most subtle challenge of all, how do we make sure these things are fair? AI learns from data from our world. And let's be honest, our world is full of our own biases. So how do we stop those same biases from being baked into the very machines that are going to be caring for our parents and working in our communities? The race to answer these questions is absolutely on. Governments know that our current laws are hopelessly outdated. The EU is trying to get ahead of it with new innovation frameworks, but this is also turning into a huge geopolitical issue. You've got the US, China, and Europe all developing very different strategies, creating this new kind of tech race that will shape how this all gets regulated and rolled out. What's for sure is that we are going to see major foundational changes to our laws within the next 10 years. Okay, finally, let's try to bring this all together. Let's step out of the abstract and, just for a minute, step into a simulation. Let's see what a day in a robot-integrated society might actually look and feel like, say, in the year 2035. So, welcome to the near future. This isn't some crazy sci-fi utopia or dystopia. Let's just call it a typical Tuesday, a little over a decade from now, where these technologies have just become part of the background, woven into the fabric of daily life. Your day might start with a household robot getting breakfast ready while it goes over your family's schedule. Then at work, you're not replaced by a robot. You're working with one, as a partner, tackling complex jobs that neither of you could do alone. Your kid gets home from school and gets personalized help with their homework from a robotic tutor that actually understands their learning style. And in the evening, you've got peace of mind because you know your aging parent is being safely and attentively cared for. It's a world of augmented ability, for sure, but it's also a world with totally new social dynamics that we are only just beginning to figure out. Look, make no mistake about it, whether it's in our homes, our jobs, or our hospitals, our world is about to get a massive upgrade. And this isn't some minor software patch. This is like a full operating system overhaul. The code is being written right now, the hardware is being built as we speak, and the update is coming. The only real question left is, are we ready to install it?